the energy up. Y'all show some love for Rafael DeCamargo! Jordan McDonald, one more time, huh? What's up, Austin, Texas? How are we doing? I've been in Austin for almost a year, and it's been pretty interesting. The first show that I did when I moved out here, I was doing a joke about how I just become an American citizen 2 years ago, and I thought, for fun, hey, does anyone from the audience want to yell out where you think I'm from? And this lady in the back was like, Jew! Totally missed the question. I was like, can you show it to me on a map? Because I don't think it fucking says it on there, you know what I mean? It's good to be in Texas. That's what I thought. It's funny, I am an immigrant. I came over to this country when I was 4 years old, and I spent 11 years in Texas, and then I moved to California for 10 years. And I will say that coming back to Texas, I have been told to get out and go back to where I came from more times as a Californian in Texas than an immigrant in America. Isn't that crazy? You guys hate Californians. I'm Brazilian. That's the country that I was born in. Any Brazilians in here today? No, because they're all out doing DoorDash, because that's the only fucking job we can get in this country, and they're never at my shows. You know what I mean? I'm Brazilian. Yeah, when I was born, my mom was not cool with the Brazilian doctors touching me at all for any reason, so I wasn't circumcised. And then I moved to America, and you guys seem to be oddly weirded out by foreskin for whatever fucking reason. I went to the doctor when I was 8, and the doctor told my mom, like, hey, you should probably circumcise your kid for cleaning purposes. And my mom was like, yeah, knock yourself out. So I was circumcised at 8. Some of the dudes are looking at me like I fought in Nam. Yeah, boys, you lost a lot of good skin out there that day, you know what I mean? But I get it, she had good reasons. She wanted me to be a happy, healthy boy, that I understand. What I thought was weird is that when I woke up from surgery, my whole family had flown out from Brazil to see my dick heal. Yeah, surprise, huh? How fun is that? You know how many birthdays and Christmases they missed? But like, dude, he's getting dick surgery, let's get tickets tonight. We should be there. How fun would that be? Swear to God, every 45 minutes the doctors were coming up to look at my wiener, and my grandma was in the back cracking jokes. She was like, "E parece que a tartaruga saiu, eh?" Which in Portuguese, that means the turtle has left its shell. Pretty awkward. I was in 4th grade. I was in 4th grade, I missed a month and a half of school. I went back, and all the kids were like, "Dude, where have you been?" And then I got kicked out of show and tell. I like that joke way too much. Sometimes there'll be one guy who laughs too hard at that joke, and you're like, oh, I know what you're up to, you know what I mean? I'm working on it, though. I started going to therapy as an adult last year, working on my shit. When I started therapy, my therapist asked me, she goes, hey, where do you want to start? And I said, I'm the kind of guy that wears a shirt in the pool. Yeah, I'm fat. I have B cups, dude. I think it should be illegal for me to free the nipple. I truly believe that. And I told that to my therapist. She's like, why do you feel the need to wear a shirt in the pool? And I told her about this thing I used to do when I was a kid. Maybe some of you guys can relate. But when I'd go on family vacations, I'd put my Walkman headphones on, but I'd turn the volume all the way down so I could hear my family talking shit about each other. A few of you? Yeah, okay. So I was on a family vacation, I had my Walkman headphones on, I had the volume turned all the way down, and I overheard my grandma tell everyone in the car that if I didn't outgrow my man boobs, that we would just surgically remove them. And I knew they weren't fucking around because 2 years later they took my fucking foreskin, alright? So I knew... It's like, these people were fucking serious, dude. So I was like, wow, you're really embarrassed by this? I'll keep it covered forever. And my therapist was like, dude, that's why you wear the shirt in the pool. And I was like, this is the best $200 I've spent in a long time. But it got me thinking, right? Imagine if they had taken my tits off. The way that society and gender has evolved in the last 20 years, would I just be out at a pool party this summer and someone would see my scars and come up to me and be like, wow, with the beard and everything, good for you. Right? And then I'd have to be like, no, I've been a man my whole life. And they'd be like, you sure have, yes you have. It's an awkward conversation. I think I'll just keep my shirt on in the pool, thanks. My whole family still lives in Brazil. I haven't seen them in a long time. And I was talking to my grandfather earlier today, and me and him aren't like on the best terms. Last time I saw him, he was visiting here in the United States, and we got into an argument about where to go out to eat for dinner. He was like, I want to go to Red Lobster, and I was like, yeah, that place sucks, man. And he was like, your opinion doesn't matter, you're not a real man, so we're going to Red Lobster. Yeah, pretty harsh. I was like, I did not know that the cheddar biscuits are worth ruining a family, but here we are. And yeah, ever since then, you know, we've just been kind of on rocky terms, and it stresses me out because he's old, he's getting older, and I don't want him to pass away and for us to be on bad terms. He's Biden's age, so it's gonna happen any day soon. But I started getting this stress dream where like my grandma will call me in the dream and she's like, hey, grandpa's dying, he's in the hospital, he's asking for you, you gotta come down to Brazil. So I fly out, and when I get there, my whole family's in the hospital room, it's really sad. And my grandfather sees me and he beckons me over, so I walk over to the bed and I sit down next to him, and he looks at me and he says, Rafa, I'm really sorry for what I said to you last time that I saw you. And I take a moment, I just look at my family one more time, and then I lean in so no one can hear me, and I just whisper, I'll never forgive you. Got him, bro. You know what I mean? And in the dream, he just looks me in the eyes and he goes, I know, because only a real man could forgive. And then he just rolls over and dies. Dream doesn't end there. The next day I'm in the lawyer's office. They're reading off the will and testament of my grandfather. They're like, hey, is Rafael here? And I'm like, yep, that's me. And they're like, all right, let's see what we have here for you. And they go down this list and they get to the bottom and they're like, okay, right here. Looks like he left you a $100 gift card to Red Lobster. And then I go to Red Lobster. I get $100 worth of food with a friend, and when the check comes back, there was only $25 on the fucking gift card. I have to do dishes in my dreams at a fucking Red Lobster. It's not fun. Yeah, immigrating to this country was tough. It took me 3 years to become a citizen. Usually it takes about a year, but I applied right before COVID happened, so it really just fucked everything up. And it was probably the most stressful thing I've done in my entire life. It was submitting documents to the federal government, going into federal buildings for interviews, you know, background checks, all this stuff. I gained 80 pounds in the 3 years that it took me to become a citizen, but it was almost like the government was training me to be more American. Like, we'll wait till he's diabetic and then we'll let him in. I went to go get my certificate. They were like, hey man, does your foot sometimes hurt and then fall asleep? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, approved, hobble on in, bro. You're one of us. I almost didn't make it in though, because I had an arrest on my record from when I was 22 years old. I was living in California at the time, and I'd gone out drinking with a buddy of mine. I'd explained this story to a federal agent. This is how nerve-wracking it was. But she was like, can you explain why you were arrested? And I was like, sure. I was 22, I'd gone out drinking with a friend of mine, and after the end of the night, he went to go drop me off at my mom's apartment complex, and we were sitting in his car outside the gate, and he was like, hey bro, I have this weed and this bottle if you want to keep partying. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. So we were sitting in his car taking shots of Jameson and smoking weed out of a Monster can. He's like, I have this weed, I don't have a pipe, I don't know how we're gonna smoke. And I was like, dude, I've been in the 8th grade. I can make a pipe out of anything. And I grabbed this Monster can from the passenger side floor and poked some holes into it, and we went to town, you know? We were so fucked up, we didn't even realize the cop had rolled up on us until he knocked on the driver's side window. And then he rolled down the window and he's like, what are you guys doing? And I was mid-hit on the fucking Monster pipe. Made me laugh, so it all went exploding off the top. It's a real waste of a bowl. But, you know, he asks for IDs, we're handing over the IDs, and he goes, how do you boys know each other? And I had to look at this cop and say, sir, we met on a Facebook forum for slacklining. And he had no idea what that was. And I tried to explain, I was like, it's where you get this rope and you put it, and he goes, oh, I don't need to hear the rest of this. I was like, sir, it's not sexual, we have it in the trunk. And the cop was like, I don't want to see it. And I was like, all right, fair. And I was like, why did you roll up on us, sir? And he goes, well, I don't know if you boys know, but this is the #1 hotspot for male prostitution in this town. So that whole slackline thing really didn't help our case up until this point. But he looked at my ID and he's like, oh, you live here? And I was like, yeah, this is my mom's apartment complex. Officer, I always thought those guys were just waiting for the bus. And he goes, oh, there's no bus stop over there. It's like, sweet, just a bunch of dudes slanging dick outside my mom's house. That's awesome. But yeah, he did catch us smoking and drinking right as he pulled us out of the car, and we're both being interviewed by separate officers. And about 20 minutes went by, and then 3 more squad cars showed up, and I was like, oh, I'm going to jail, right? And these new cops went and talked to the old cops, and this new cop came up to me, and he was like, hey, buddy, how much cocaine have you done tonight? I was like, none. And he's like, why are you smiling? And I was like, because this is the first time in my adult life I can honestly tell you I've done 0 cocaine tonight. I was like, why do you ask? And he goes, because your buddy over there is 8 grams in pre-weighed out baggies and about $700 in cash. I got so mad because we could have been having such a fun time tonight. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not going down for this, you know what I mean? The cop did an eye test. He's like, all right, I believe you haven't done any cocaine tonight, but I do need to arrest you for public intoxication. And I was like, if that's what you gotta do, bro. So he handcuffed me. And he's leading me towards the car, and I couldn't help myself. So I stopped him. I was like, hold on a second, officer, 1 second. Out of the two of us, which one did you think was the prostitute? And he leaned in close to my ear. He's like, oh, you're gonna be real popular where you're going. And I was like, fuck, I'm Rafael DeCamargo. Thank you guys so much. Are you guys ready for more? All right, keep those hands clapping for your next comedian. Make a laugh for Sam Castillo!